Runaway robot. Hello, and welcome to DieFall The Aspects episode, God, I always forget to do this, 43? 43.
I think we're 3.
Yeah, 43.
Yeah, we're all wrong.
It's fine. If it's wrong, it's wrong. Episode 3502. Welcome. We're going to play some Dungeons & Dragons today. At the beginning of every show, I always like to go around and talk to everyone and see how they've been. So first off, Mr. Bonus Stage Rob, you got a nice little special thing today, didn't you? You wanna show the class?
They're so nice. So I just started DMing a IRL game, and two of my friends. It's 5 friends that have never played D&D before, so I'm having a lot of fun with it. They're having a lot of fun with it, but 2 of them got super like gung ho and antsy, and they were like just buying dice, buying all this like extended stuff. They each have their own copy of the player's handbook, so I was like, oh my god, we just had like 3 of those floating around the table. It was dope. And something they showed me that I didn't know existed were these little like spell book card sets, and they're literally like they're like reference cards for each of the spells. And I'm like, oh my god, this is tight. I have to get the paladin one because I'm constantly forgetting what I have in front of me. And it's like, I know on every rest I could prepare more spells, but I'm just like, yeah, I'm comfortable. And then I get into combat and I'm like, oh god, here's my arsenal that I should have probably thought about a little more. So I'm just excited. I mean, they're so nice. Like they're these nice, neat little cards, and oh god, they look great. And yeah, awesome, I'm just like going through them and like relearning my class right now because this is tight. I mean, I'm still probably gonna hang on to like 3 of the 4 I prepared, but good. But yeah, also, I just watched Unbreakable. Like literally finished it 10 minutes before this call started. What a fucking movie.
What's Unbreakable? Wait.
So many people have been saying this recently.
Yeah. Well, the reason I watched it was because Glass is coming out, and Glass is about Sam Jackson's character in Unbreakable and Split.
That's that. Okay, it's part of that series. I didn't realize
that like trilogy or whatever. And so I was like, well, I got like tomorrow off. I'll do like my errands tomorrow morning probably. I figured I'm gonna just like laze around, order some food, and watch Unbreakable, and then probably watch like Split tomorrow if I like Unbreakable. And
nice,
it's a pretty tight movie.
It's pretty good. All right,
yeah,
it's great as well.
I know.
Yeah, you're probably gonna like
Split. Is amazing. Yeah, so I'm excited.
Yeah,
nice.
But yeah,
cool, man. Mr. Rel, how have you been for the last week, bud?
Oh boy,
how's it been going?
I've been good. Finally hit the point in GTA Online that I decided, screw this. This is not actually fun to do solo.
Okay.
Because the people that I were playing with, they went back to school. Because college started up for them at least, and I'm all by my lonesome, basically doing these missions that are not that fun to do by yourself. It's funnier if you have people with you.
Sure.
So I was just like, screw this. I'm done. Otherwise, am trying to get back into Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 2 because I got like halfway through the game and I need to continue it because geez, it's been I've been playing 18 hours now, and I'm like 4 games deep into this series at this point, and at some point I have to finish this, especially because Cold Steel 3 was just announced to be released for America. And considering who they got to translate it, I figure I might just import it and play it in Japanese.
Okay, cool, man. Mr. Tom Like a Fox, how's your last week been, bud? I saw you've been busy on the competitive circuit. How's it going?
Yeah, it's been okay. It's been a busy week. I managed to get like double the sleep I got last week, so I'm feeling pretty good about that.
Good,
But
yeah, awesome.
It's hard balancing everything because so much of the stuff I want to and need to do is like NA time zone related stuff.
Sure, yeah.
So I should be sound asleep when I'm like working into the middle of the night or the early hours of the morning. But you know, hopefully that's all gonna pay off, and but it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I also felt super productive like at home last week. Like I just got loads of stuff done around the house, and that always makes you feel good, you know.
Yeah, that's nice. Cool, man. Glad to hear it. All right, Mr. Professor Saccharum.
That's me.
How's your last week been, bud?
It's been pretty good.
Are we on the path to getting you up and streaming again?
Are we
on the way?
We're on the way. We're on the way. That road
good.
The path is probably gonna take a little bit longer, but I'm hoping by like the middle or end of February to start up again. It's just a lot of financial trying to juggle stuff and make sure I have the funds to buy parts for a computer and also pay bills. But otherwise everything's been great. I've been chilling out a little bit, playing games on my own time, just trying to, I guess, rekindle some personal love for games and stuff again, which is nice. Yeah. If anybody follows me on Twitter, they saw last night I posted a clip from me playing Breath of the Wild and killing myself by accident because I tried to be sneaky and I got the buttons mixed up.
Okay.
That's always
I
funny.
saw that. Yeah, I saw that clip.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So I was sneaking up to open a chest, and I open the chest, get what's inside it, and I go to plant a bomb next to these explosive barrels while these enemies are asleep. As I put the bomb down, the enemies wake up, and I immediately press the detonate button instead of running away.
Well,
your first mistake was putting an explosive device next to more explosive devices.
Well, I didn't
Take
have
it from
anything
someone
else.
who knows. You have any fire arrows?
No.
Oh well.
No fire or bomb arrows, so I was like, this'll do. It was fine. It worked out eventually. I just thought it was funny. But otherwise, yeah,
cool.
Everything's been good.
Good, man. Glad to hear it. Yeah, I think that's good enough for us. For me, I'm just excited to play some D&D today. We left off on a pretty nice little note last session. Rob ended up hitting level 6. So at his next short or long rest, Rob, you'll get all your benefits for that level 6 and stuff, okay?
Yeah, I'm already picking out my extra spell I get.
Ooh, fancy. Do you want to do this now? Do you want to roll for your health? Yeah? Okay. All right. Let me
He's
bring the
such a happy
stats.
boy. Look at him.
You
Yeah.
know
It's gonna be a 1.
Yeah,
I hope not. He needs some
Our
some
tank
love here.
needs more HP.
So what's your hit die?
Solid question. I forget.
Do you remember?
It is
I
1d10.
think it's a D10 and it's plus your con.
Sure
So
is.
basically all you have to do is hit your hit die button and it'll roll it for you. Or you can manually enter that in there and we'll see what you roll here.
Look at that.
6.
Above the average. Oh, wait,
Okay.
No, that is the average.
That is the
not the
average.
average. It's
That is
below
not
the
the
average.
average. That's below.
No, 12. 1d10 plus 2 is 12. So average is 6.
Right, but
Oh.
on the D10 I think it
You
gives
got a
you
4.
6 as your base and you'll get plus 2 from your con. But
Yeah, that's the point.
anyways,
Fuck you,
that's
I got
a 6.
it.
That's a 6. Go ahead and add that to your
It's
hit die pool.
Still solid HP.
Go ahead and add all your level 6 stuff and whatever, and when you do your short rest,
did.
it'll be all active and stuff like that. Okay, cool. All right. I think that covers that part. Now let's do some goals.
Sorry, wait,
because
real
stuff
quick. This
happened.
is very important. Rel, it says 1d10 or 6 plus your con mod. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, looks
Starting
like
to
we're
get
hitting
him
the
off
sauce a
strong.
little early tonight. Fuck me.
Attaboy. Wait, what the hell is that?
Scotch.
That was from the bottle. Okay. Cool, dude.
Yikes.
Hell yeah.
This is a solid
yeah.
Sunday. Solid
All
Sunday.
right, cool. All right, dudes, let's talk about some goals before we lose Rob to the bottle.
Fine. I'm just gonna tuck this boy right down here.
We've got 2 openings for group goals here, gentlemen. So right now, all you have is party overcomes the need of self and puts the party above any other goal, a unifying cause. I think you guys are as a party getting closer to that as you spend more time together, and it's been going well. But again, I think there's not been that moment where you guys band together, have a unifying cause, and do the thing, right? So you have 2 open slots. What are your new group goals?
Well, Tom and I were discussing it in the Discord earlier, and one of them that we kind of brainstormed was ensuring that the turtle elemental either just goes back to sleep or we send it just back into the desert to live free and not commit genocide.
Okay. Sure. So is that in agreement with the group here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for anything that doesn't involve the hobgoblins maintaining control of that thing and using it for bad.
Okay,
Yeah.
so is the goal prevent hobgoblin control of the city, I guess.
I think that's a decent way to word it. I mean,
Okay.
I guess, yeah.
Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's another way I want to phrase it, but no.
Sure. Yeah, no, we'll see if it works. Okay. And now, can I
some hobgoblins?
Yeah, can I get a second one here?
well, the other one that we discussed, well, Tom and I, because y'all were busy watching one of the best Shyamalan movies.
I was shoveling snow. Excuse
God
me.
forbid I rest on the Lord's Day.
Says the dude who just took a swig of alcohol.
Oh my god.
I was resting,
Let's see.
swimming.
Hey, Jesus
All
turned
right.
water into wine, dude.
Fuck yeah. Anyway,
Did he turn it into whiskey?
If you wanted to.
He would have if he
Scottish
was
Jesus
Scottish.
did. Yeah, Scottish Jesus turned it into whiskey.
Anyway, what was that other goal?
Goal,
It
please.
It was something to do saving Erdrick, basically.
Save Erdrick.
Yeah, the next big thing was saving Erdrick.
Okay,
what do you guys
I need
think
something
about
a
that?
little more specific from that. Like, because what does saving mean?
Wrench Erdrick from Heat von Rose grasp.
Okay,
I don't
so
know. In that
Murder
exact
that
voice.
person.
Yes. Murder them to death, please.
Wrench Erdrick from Hida
God damn it.
Von Roll's grasp. All right, so we'll figure out how you do that. That leaves you a lot of options. That doesn't mean you necessarily have to kill her. You could do something else, but yeah, that's cool.
As
I like
long as
that.
grasp wrenching takes place, I think,
Yeah,
whatever that
I'll grasp her neck with my hand.
No, that's not what we do to people.
Whoa, whoa.
That is not how friends talk.
Whoa. Okay, so Ignis, in the last session, you had gained control of the city of Adis. Do you want to maintain that? You did a little bit of experimentation, figured out it wasn't working as you expected, or do you want to change that?
No, I wanted to change that. First and foremost, I want to ensure that Rexy survives her first combat test.
Okay.
Oh, it's a she.
Rexy survives first combat test. Understood. Okay, you have returned to Earl Reese War Camp with Tasir alive. I'm assuming you're going to keep that one.
Yep.
Escape Adis with entire party and Tasir alive.
That seems to be becoming more difficult by the day.
So we'll see how that goes, but you want to maintain both of those?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Miara,
That's me.
you currently have make it back to Reese War Camp to talk to some priests. Familiarize yourself with desert terrain, and then ally yourself with Ital.
I'm changing out 2 of them for right now.
Okay.
Ital seems like a lost cause, so I'm gonna dump that one.
Okay.
And I'm gonna replace it with teach Tasir to defend herself in a combat situation.
Okay.
In his best local radio DJ voice.
Yeah, exactly. And make it back to Earl Reese War Camp one, I'm going to replace with craft a high quality dagger for Tasir.
You want to craft a high quality dagger.
Make it a little bit more complicated for myself.
Tasir. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Let's see if you can pull that kind of thing off. Your background will lend you some help to that, but
Yeah.
we'll see if you've
I can
got
actually do it.
what you've got. Yeah, exactly. Darien, you currently have one empty slot, but you have familiarized yourself with the desert terrain, which is like an ongoing thing. For both of you, it's an ongoing thing. Miara is a little bit easier because if she ticks level 6 and selects desert terrain as new favored terrain, that kind of solidifies it. Whereas Darien, it's more of a like tangential thing for you that you've been working on. And will likely come to a close as you guys exit the desert. So you can hang on to that if you'd like. Convince Etal and anyone else to avoid null genocide. That one's a little up in the air, but you still have a time and maybe the ability to do so.
May I rephrase that one?
Yeah, more than welcome.
Prevent null genocide. I ain't convincing people of shit.
Okay, prevent it. Okay.
Yeah, just prevent the hobgoblins from going through.
I'm interested to see how that's going to work out. That is a large goal, my man.
Yeah.
Let me put that to you right now. But if Darien's thinking big, then Darien's thinking big.
Changing the entire politics of an ancient race.
Hey, Darien's a charismatic dude.
it.
We'll see if it works.
I like it.
God, I'm trying, man. I went into those negotiations last week.
I will show
I
you the
came out a
teaching
different
of
man.
Alis.
I'm just waiting for
Sure.
Darien's I have a dream
Sure.
speech.
I can't.
Yeah,
Hey, man,
right?
That's on brand. It's MLK Day tomorrow, so you know.
Hey, there you go.
It's on brand.
You also, so you have an open slot as well. Did you think about something to put in there?
Oh, you know I'm always thinking about what to put in open slots, my dude.
Okay.
So, I would like to It's hard because I don't know how. I guess this would come down to you to determine when I'm successful, but
Sure.
Adequately teach Tasir to arm to defend herself in an emergency situation.
So you have the same goal as
me.
As me.
Yeah.
So
We
teach
work
Tasir to defend herself in a combat situation. Yeah, you could obviously have this similar goal to help her out there, and we'll see how that goes. Okay. Hathol. Ensure Etal does not retain control of the artifact. Assist the two stones in recovering their history. Learn about the other aspects and history of aspects in politics. What you got for me, bud?
So I want to get rid of the one about helping the two stones because right now I don't see the point. I don't see that they care about their culture at all.
Okay.
Nah, I think they're just gonna continue to fight. They'll always find something to fight, and I'll leave them to it.
Okay.
I'd like to change that one to. I don't know how to put it into a more specific goal, but it's basically find myself because I'm going through this transition and there's a lot of changes going on, and it's I don't know.
Find a greater purpose.
No, it's not so much of a purpose. It's actually figuring out what I am at this point. These changes, figuring out what these changes mean, I guess.
It's called puberty, Tom.
Okay.
Yes. Day one
I'm
of
trying to think
puberty
of,
with this beard.
Yeah.
Wake up in the morning, Mom! What's happened? Who are you?
How do we word this as a goal that is experience worthy? I
don't know.
Okay, how about this? Learn about your new connection.
Okay, yeah.
Because that has everything to do with your eventual new abilities, the end result of last week's summon that you didn't realize that you were doing. And all of those things kind of encompass that, because as a warlock you have a new patron. So you want to learn about what that is, and that is definitely something that you can do.
Cool.
All right.
Yep.
I think that covers all of the goals for today. So let us start our. Let's get into the show proper here. Go down to my notes. All right.
Can I, before we quickly jump in, can I ask for some clarification on something from last week that's been bugging me in my notes?
Absolutely.
You introduced us to like the leaders or the elders.
There was a lot of
the
them.
Sept, right?
Yep.
So, and we got names to go with each Sept. So, Shifting Sands is Lith, and Broken Shields was Eshkil, Night Stalker's Miley.
Yeah, Eshkil.
Eshkil. Okay,
Shkil.
Yep. Zaba and Sage, you didn't specify which one went with which.
Sage is River Wolves, Zaba is Grey Raiders, and that's
cool.
that's my mistake. She would have mentioned that.
Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to. I figured it was just an omission.
Yeah, that's my mistake.
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you met a lot of people last time, so that'll be interesting. Cool. Yeah, so we fade in on the show proper here, and we get we're over the city in the daytime, stomping its way forward, and we get our DieFall, the aspects fade in over it, and then we come down and we find I want this one. We get that kind of replay of Hathol going through this ritual spell, right? So we get it quickly this time. It's just a recap. So we watch him draw with the chalk all of these constellations on the ground, the fire from the brazier, utilizing all of the ingredients, casting the spell, him basically falling through the cosmos, stars and galaxies and things whizzing by him, and then we see him like in front of a large star, and eventually he comes back into consciousness, and a small mote of light floats down. Hathol extends his hand, the mote of light lands in it, and it kind of extends upward, and we see a tiny woman with long silver hair, silvered wings, a proud angular face. She's glowing slightly, pupilless white eyes, and she's like slowly flapping them and levitating. She has a bow over her shoulder, and she's carrying a scythe. And she at the very end of the last session, I think this is exactly right where we'll pick up, is that you were addressed. She says, "My name is Arel deSeraphina. Why have you summoned me?"
I do not know. I was not aware I was summoning anyone.
Not aware, and yet you knew the words to pull an angel of judgment from the cosmos.
The words came to me in a dream. I felt they had significance, and so I put them into action.
And she kind of like looks at you a little haughtily and, cocks her head backwards a little bit. They do have significance. And here I am. Well, this spell binds me to you, as much as you can feel me here. And she, like, for a second, she stops speaking, and you hear her voice pop into your head. She starts speaking to you telepathically. You can also feel me here. I'll assume that you haven't had a connection like this before.
Nothing quite so strong and vivid.
Yeah, so she kind of like ruffles her wings a little bit while she's floating there and nods, and she goes, Summoned by a babe. Well, what would you have me do?
Tell me where you come from and what this connection means. It's a pleasure to meet you, by the way. I'm Hathol.
She looks at you and nods her head, and like a slight bow. And then she extends the palm of her hand that's not holding a large scythe, and you see like little bits and motes of light come up. They're very small, right? Because her hand is tiny. She's maybe 4 inches in height, so she's very, very small. But you see like what looks to be like little galaxies kind of like floating around in her hand, and she goes and she points and she goes, right here, and it like zooms inwards to it. That's me. And it's just like this little burning bright like white star in her hand. And she says, I am one of the angels of judgment for the aspect of death.
Wow. Well, Hathol appears speechless at this point.
Yeah, are you like slack-jawed over her right now? Like,
Wow.
Well, at your awe of her doing this, she looks up at you and she smiles. She seems to have enjoyed the effect that had on you.
Look what I can do. He makes his staff glow again.
Yeah, like, for whatever reason, like your staff is just glowing brightly, and she looks up at you and goes, huh.
Very good.
It seems you are unfamiliar with your abilities. Have you... She shakes her head again and says, a babe pulls me from the sky. Okay, Hathol. Maybe I can assist you. You said the words. You did the spell. I am, until something harms me in such a way, yours to command.
Yep.
So, maybe I can help you figure out what's going on.
Yeah, I think I need that, because I've been going through all these kind of weird changes right now, and I'm a little confused, and I don't really know what's going on, and look at my staff!
Yo, play it cool, man. She called you a babe, and you followed up with look at your staff? Jesus. Sorry,
Oh my.
I had to.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, love your own
So
name,
wait,
babe.
Hathol, I need to know if this is all in character. Is this all in a rush? Is this like a waterfall of words coming out? And she dismisses the little cosmos in her hands and like raises it up to you. Peace, Hathol. Breathe. She looks up and behind you, from where you're like kneeled down on the ground, and she says, huh. Well, that's a curious-looking creature. Do you turn around to see what she's talking about? Yeah. It's one of the hobgoblins just, like, wide-eyed and just, like, gripping his, like, one of his javelins really tightly. And he like, talks to you in hobgoblin and goes, Hathol, what is going on here?
Do I know this hobgoblin's name?
Yeah, I mean, you would have probably known. It's not one of the ones you're like super familiar with.
Okay.
But it's let's say it's Edo.
Edo, this is my new friend Arel.
He like steps forward and like, flourishes his javelin to the side and bows deeply. And he goes, I know of your kind. He looks back over to you and says, How, Hathol, how?
First of all, Edo, you know of this kind, but you know nothing of your own? Well, jeez.
He shrugs and he goes, celestial beings, angels, agents of the aspects, of course, legends all over. But he looks and he goes, but I've never seen one so small. And he like moves his head closer, and Arel like flourishes out her scythe and like presents it forward to him and he goes, not a step closer, red one.
I'd watch your step, Edo.
He like backs up, like palm outstretched and bows, and I will leave you to it. Everything is okay?
Everything is fine. You are dismissed.
He bows and nods and turns and takes his post back up at the wall outside the door.
Okay, Arel, I think it's great that you're here, because things have been strange for me recently. I am not a stranger to magic and powers and abilities, but just this last few days, much has changed, and I cannot comprehend of it.
She cocks her head to the side and goes, huh. So maybe just a toddler then, not a babe, when it comes to the powers of the universe?
Perhaps.
Tell me what's changed. If you and I are going to be working together, I'd rather not have to dig through that skull of yours and have a conversation.
You should probably stay out of there. Yeah. Well, my powers previously seemed to be somewhat more destructive than perhaps they are now. I also had some mild telepathic abilities, which I seem to no longer be able to use. And did I mention my staff?
It glows again brightly, and she looks up, and she doesn't seem affected by the proximity of the light. Again, you don't see any pupils or anything, so you have no idea how maybe she even sees. But she does look up at you and just smiles a little bit. Huh. Did you have a patron before?
Yes, I did.
She raises an eyebrow. Who?
Well, for most of my life, I worshipped and followed Druvani. Until one day I met her face to face and things didn't go so well.
She starts chuckling a little bit. And then kind of, collects herself and covers her mouth and... Yes, Destruction is an interesting being. She is, well, you met her. I can see why maybe your mind had changed, but... You've reached for something far greater here, and, well... Destruction is limited in scope, but... Well... You, seem to have a new patron. I don't get to speak to him often, but... It seems that, you said the right things to make someone very powerful very happy. It will be interesting to work with you, Hathol. And she kind of floats up off your hand and, up in front of your face, and she extends, her hand towards you.
I'll just extend my finger outwards.
Yeah, she does, and very Tinkerbellish.
My fist.
Yeah, very Tinkerbellish. She shakes your hand and she says, "It seems we're partners now, Hathol. There are some things that I will require of you if we are to be working together.
Okay.
Do not harm me.
Never.
Do not threaten me. And do not put me in harm's way against my will."
Understood.
But if I say I do not want to answer a question of yours, you accept that. Some things aren't for mortal beings to know.
Okay.
And in turn, I will help you. I have some abilities of my own that should prove useful to you. And she, blinks out and it just disappears in front of you. A moment later,
bye.
You hear, a small whisper in your ear. I can go places most others cannot. And do some things that may help you out. And she, pops back in and lands on your shoulder.
Well, this is gonna be fun.
She chuckles again, hides her mouth and says, "Yes, I suppose so." She flourishes out the scythe and it vanishes from her hand, and she kind of just takes a seat on your shoulder. Okay. Well, Hathol, what do we do now?
I feel I have some friends I should introduce you to first.
Oh, I get to meet more new mortals. Interesting. Well, lead on then.
And I'll go and find the others.
Sure. So it's been some time. Others, what have you been up to? How's it been going?
So remind me, we are still like where were
Didn't
we
we
at?
just get out of the meeting?
We just got out of the meeting?
I think so.
Yep, they dismissed you. The rest of the Hobgoblin Sept leaders remained in the tent with the artifact, and you guys are standing just outside.
Okay. Well, that could have gone better.
Not going to disagree.
It could have also
It could have
gone
gone
much
worse.
worse.
Could have gone worse.
Admittedly so. But now what do we do?
I think we have to prepare for the worst now.
Do we have any idea how close we are to the mountains?
I mean, so knowing you, Ignis, you would have taken a look at your star chart the night before, something like that, and you and Miera would have talked about it. At this pace, and it seems like you're going directly back towards the mountains. You're not like taking the kind of roundabout way. You estimate it's roughly a week away, about 7 days.
Well, assuming we can't convince this great beast to stop or turn around, we'll arrive in the mountains in a week, which gives us a good 7 days to either convince them not to commit some kind of genocide, or, and I'll whisper this one, escape.
Yes, well, I didn't think being a diplomat would be so damn hard.
Oh my goodness, you have no idea. Why do you think I hate dealing with people?
This just so happens to be the position that we're in now.
Yes, and at least we are the only ones, at least to our knowledge, with means to command the beast, so there's that.
Better find Hathol and catch him up.
Yeah, so you guys like kind of want to wait. Do you guys go back to your tent or something and kind of hang out outside of it? And wait for Hathol to return, or do you like go search him out?
Was there any indication of how much longer these chieftains would be talking?
Not to your knowledge, no.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess so. Go back to our room, guys? I don't know.
I'm down.
Yeah, I mean, you have like a large tent that they had set up for you
Yeah.
and yours, and you can go hang out there and like, you
Tessier's
you play with the lady
probably over that
Tessier
way,
or
right?
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure, we can go back there.
Yeah, and you can like hang out with over there for a little bit, and that's fine. And we'll fast forward to like Hathol returning to the group, tiny little angel of judgment on his shoulder, and Hathol, you approach.
Hi, guys.
I have a question or two for the DM.
Sure, what's up?
Does Darien recognize that as somebody within the death domain? The hobgoblins recognize it as a celestial being, but
Correct. You would know it's a celestial being.
okay.
Whether or not it's something in the death domain, there might be some giveaways,
Okay.
but I don't know if you know. You know what? Let's find out if you know. Roll me a religion check.
Okay. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. All right, there it is.
Yeah. Even
Darien
without
study.
Yeah. It's that in like the priests of death, right? Of the final judgment.
Yes.
Like some of their like they wear various different colors and things like that, but in talks with them that like the messengers of their aspect tend to be these kind of they're angels, right? Mm-hmm. They're tiny little angels, and some of them are larger, some of them are smaller, and whatever. But that rather than some of the other aspects utilizing other things, like you would know that like Nos would have either like wolves or beasts or something like that that he would utilize as messengers,
kind of
or
the messengers that they send ahead of them.
Right. So this is like a tiny herald of the aspect death.
Okay. Follow-up question.
What's up?
What is the general populace's view on death as an aspect? Are they afraid? Are they accepting? Are they...
So the two chief aspects are life and death.
Yeah.
Death being the king, life being the queen.
Right.
They're the parents of all of the other aspects.
Right.
And generally, death is just viewed as it's the final judgment. Your placement amongst the like celestial beings and aspects and things like that in their realms is ended up determined when you meet death at the end of your life. So they're not, some people are afraid of like being dead, but generally people aren't afraid of the aspect death because it's just the other side to life.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to gauge.
You do know that
reaction.
between life and death, they are equally as powerful as each other, and they are the chief of all aspects. So they are the most powerful of all of the ones, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So So the larger temples and things that you would find in any city would be temples to life and death.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. I mean, so here's the deal. You rolled really, really high. If you have more questions, especially because this is pertaining to the aspect death, if you have more questions about death, you can just feel free to ask them.
Yeah, and it's more is this weird or should I be scared or should I like how
scared? No. Weird? Yes.
Yeah. It's
like this is one of those things that they wrote down in books and legends and things, right?
What situations would a herald of death, and I don't want to like make you go too far into this. I'm trying to, because I want to continue.
You would know that like the priest would tell you that heralds of death can be with great magic can be summoned to assist. They don't.
So it doesn't necessarily mean somebody bad the bug and die.
No. Okay. No, not at all.
That's what I was trying to gauge.
No. It's one of those things that like in the
it's
magic.
It's not like a bad omen. It's just
correct.
Okay. Got it.
Most people in the world don't view the aspect death as something bad.
Gotcha.
So it's not necessarily an omen, but it's again the other side of the coin to life.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, so yeah, you see this, you pick up right away. I don't know how everyone else would react to this. And if you guys want to roll like flat religions on these, if you want to, if you're proficient in religion, definitely you can make these rolls.
I will give it an attempt.
If you aren't proficient in religion, go ahead and make it a disadvantage.
I already probably don't know anything about this creature, so I don't think just based on
no, that's fine. You don't have to roll it. I just want if you guys want to know what you might know about something like this. The DC is not easy.
See if I've heard anything.
Sure. So Ignis, you can roll again. It's disadvantage, but
I know.
Nope, mine. You're jet.
Okay, so an 8 and a 3.
Fail.
No, it's a tiny, glowing woman with a bow strapped across her shoulder, sitting on Hathol's shoulder, and she's. As she approaches, you guys are very perceptive. You can see that like she doesn't seem to have pupils. She's like silvery. She has wings, and she seems to be like leaning on Hathol's like cheek, right? Just like sitting there, and seems to be like talking to him softly.
Ignis takes one look at her and just says, "Wow, I think that dwarven whiskey hit me harder than I thought it would."
Upon hearing that, Darien will turn and look at what Ignis is looking at and just kind of maybe like with reverence just grip his holy symbol of Ale, or like lightly touch it.
You touch the symbol because you recognize this as a herald of the aspect death. This is an angel of judgment.
Immediately I it's like I'm in seminary again. Like I'm just I like avert my eyes in reverence, like just
do you bow, kneel? What do you say?
Yeah, so I think Darien would maybe kneel and just say, Hathol, my lord, what is on your
you hear like a small light like echoey chuckle, and Hathol, it's obviously closer to you, so it's a little louder, and Arel is like, finally someone who understands my station. I see you. Rise, Paladin.
Oh my goodness, that thing is real.
Yeah, no, she like shoots a glare over at you, Ignis.
I also
course
shoot a
I
glare
will.
at Ignis.
But for sure I was drunk somehow.
My
Hathol,
lord.
what happened?
We are
Ignis, I strongly suggest at this point you mind your tongue and show some respect. Not to me, Darien. By the way, don't call me Lord again, okay? I'm nothing special here. This is Arel, and she may be considered the special one in this situation.
My lord, my friends, we are in the presence of a herald of death.
Oh God. Okay. And I'll just turn and walk away.
You just turn and leave? Okay.
Because the last
It's
time
probably
that
for the
I,
best that he leaves.
the last time that I, or at least try to leave, the last time I encountered something that was of the aspects, I got stabbed through the side and had a massive curse.
Okay. Yeah, sure. So you turn to leave. Do you take Rexy with you and your sister, or you just go?
I figured that, well, yeah, I'll pull Tessie along with me, but I figured that Rexy was waiting outside.
Parked my raptor outside.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. So Arel like flaps her wings up and she like starts floating above your shoulder, Hathol, and she turns to you. Is he afraid of me? Well, as well he should be.
I'm not
And she
sure.
kind of looks haughtily over at him.
I'm not really sure what Ignis is afraid of. What I do know is that he's small, stubborn, and disrespectful. Pay him no heed.
She nods. She goes,
But he's good people, really.
Darien is stuck between standing up for his lord and revering the aspects. He's having a crisis of conscience right now because he wants to defend Ignis, but also Apple's not wrong.
Sure. I think she like floats down, like she slowly moves her wings and she kind of just moves, right? She just like levitates around. And she like comes down in front of you, Darien. Have you stood up yet?
Yes, yeah. Upon command, I am. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. She comes to you and she goes, "Oh, Alis. Well, one of the favored daughters. Good to see. And what is your name, Paladin?"
I am Darien Heroncrest of Erdrick.
Darien Heroncrest. I am Arel deSeraphina, a herald of death and an angel of judgment. It is a pleasure to meet you.
The pleasure is mine, honestly.
She like slowly turns and she looks over at Miera and goes, "And who might you be?"
I am Miera Stonewall. Melrius, it's a pleasure to meet you.
She nods and goes, "Pleasure." So she turns around and looks at Helen. Now what?
Well, just first, Darien, just try to relax about this situation. Arel, apparently I've summoned Arel through the spell that I saw in my dream last night. She's here to help. She's here to teach me and to work with me, and she's going to be with us for the foreseeable future. So don't worry too much.
Oh, you mistake my reverence for concern. It's not every day you are in the presence of such a revered being.
Hathol is starting to realize the kind of impact Arel's going to have on people when they meet people, and he just telepathically whispers, "Hey, should we see what we can make them do?"
She looks over at you and goes, in your head, "I am not a prankster, Hathol."
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Ignis is the disrespectful one.
I did say it was going to be fun. So what have you guys been up to?
Well, an attempt was made to appeal to the hobgoblin's sense of honor. I don't know, sympathy. They have none, frankly. We were hoping that maybe you had some insight.
At this point, Ignas pops his head back in the tent and says, "Is she gone yet?"
My lord, please. It is not an omen.
Darien, I just got this hole out of my side. I do not need a new one.
It's not. That's not how death operates.
Like, she like spins the scythe out and she says, "But I can put one there."
Hey, say?
We would be grateful if you didn't, though.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe he
just got
shouldn't
the
be
hole
so
out.
rude and learn his place in the cosmos.
My place is Duke of Erdrick, little missy, and but you know what? Fine. You want to go? Let's go. Let's go. You know what? No, Rexy.
Are you doing something?
I
No,
feel
I'm not.
sick.
No, I'm no.
I feel sick.
Okay. I want. I mean, you're
Not
more.
Darien, Rob. I feel sick.
You're more
No,
than
no, I'm
welcome to.
No,
but
I'm not gonna do that. But I am gonna say, Rexy, in here, please, and just bring in the. I'll just stand by Rexy and just.
We're in
Uh,
a
Bring the
tent.
15
We're
foot
in a
tent.
tent.
I was gonna say.
No, not the whole thing. Just like the head.
oh, so
just,
so
like,
I
bend
was
down
I
and-
was under the impression that you guys were kind of like hanging out outside of the tent, or are you in
Oh
the
my
tent?
goodness, I lost track.
I was under the impression that we were inside the tent. Ignas got spooked. He went outside.
But just like the flaps are open.
He
Okay.
popped back in to be a dick, and
Sure, that's fine. Makes sense to me.
All right, yeah, I'm just calling Rexy in and just having her poke her head in through the tent flaps. Just-
Arel floats over to Ignis, and you see her coming. She spins the scythe away. It's gone, but she kind of just she has a palm outwards, and she floats towards you. She's maybe coming in within 5 feet of you. Do you do anything?
What is this?
She goes, "Hush." Do you let her continue to approach?
Well, Rexy sentry mode, which is just if she makes an attack on me, then it uses its reaction to attack her back.
Okay. She places her tiny little palm on your forehead, and this like little silver light extends outwards. Can you make a charisma saving throw for me, please?
Great. Saving throws. There we go.
So you don't feel anything, but you feel like this little warmth on like the middle of your forehead, and then it stops and she backs away. Huh. I understand. She turns around and floats back towards Hathol and goes, "Well, he isn't evil, at least."
Sure wish you were around when my father was still alive. Could have told him that. So she's going to be coming with us?
Yes.
And she turns to you. "Until dismissed, I will be with Hathol, guiding him on his new journey."
Now, Hathol has a companion. Darien, we need to find someone for you.
Maybe Darien shoots half a glance at Miera and hopes nobody. It was like
Sure.
kind of a micro reaction, micro expression.
Yeah.
That's the word.
Are you doing it
Um,
stealthily?
Gosh, I'm trying. No, it's like a moment. I'm not trying to make a whole thing of it.
Sure.
No, I know.
But Darien responds with I have everything I need in my Lady Alice.
Oh, come on. I could make you a tiny mechanical servant for you. Just small thing.
My lord, we are not doing this right now. I don't wish for a pocket, whatever that thing is.
Okay. You like cats?
No, can we please get back to the task at hand?
I
All right.
agree. I think there's some things that we needed to get in order before proceeding forward.
Yes.
Such
I
as?
don't think we're going to be able to convince the hobgoblins to not murder the entire Null population.
No, In fact, we've only delayed the inevitable. They said they would take their time, Hathol, because you weren't there. They said they would take their time. They would wait it out for a moment because it is too early for them to rush into battle. But we can't seem to convince them otherwise at the moment. According to our charts last night, we have approximately 7 days until we reach the spine. We have to figure out what we're going to do between now and then.
Well, Rexy, go outside, watch to see if anyone approaches, and if they do, let us know.
Yeah, sure. Just turns around and does its little, like, watcher head movement.
Yeah. All right. The way I see it, I think the options are escape, to continue trying to convince them. After all, we do have 7 days, and if worse comes to worse and we do have to escape, I would prefer to do it closer to the mountains and not in the middle of this God's forsaken desert. There's a third option, but I don't really want to voice it aloud.
Do you say that aloud?
Yes.
Okay.
You want to write it down?
Well, you might as
Better
well now,
not.
my lord.
Find the members of the hobgoblins that would have the means to control this thing, and we eliminate them.
Yes, I am opposed to that.
I think I would be as well.
Well, of a worst case scenario, that being that they do gain control over this thing and use it to go to the desolation and wipe out every knoll that there is, seems the expedient solution, but that is the last resort.
Arel, are you aware of the creature on which this city rides?
No, I have only just arrived in this plane of existence.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you could sense these things. That's all. But this city appears to be, it's definitely riding on the back of some giant earth elemental, which we appear to have no control over and appears to be marching towards civilization. Do you have any insights for us?
Ancient beings such as this have existed before. Those that control them tend to be of the higher planes. Do you know who would have power over this?
No. We've spoken with the creature, and it's unaware of who its masters were.
We might have a clue as to who it might be, but at this point I think it's only speculation.
Possibly Voss? The only clue we have.
Yes, I do not know how you have come to your thoughts, but why Voss?
There was a relic of Voss hidden in a temple buried under the city. It's the only indication we have that any particular aspect had any control over this thing.
She, like, raises her eyebrows.
May I see it?
Where was it? We gave it to the hobgoblins, didn't we?
Yeah, it's in the meeting tent.
It's in the meeting right now.
Mm-hmm.
We could kill 2 birds with 1 stone in this situation.
That is not how I thought that sentence was going to end. Sorry.
Don't worry.
I thought you were going to agree with me.
If you wanted to see the relic, Arel, you could infiltrate the tent while invisible and take a good look for yourself. Would also give me an opportunity to listen in to what the hobgoblins are discussing.
She nods, goes, yes, I can perform this function. Lead the way.
So you guys are going to have to show me where this tent is, because I haven't been there before.
Yeah, so I
It's
can
the big
accompany-
one. It's like it's big, it's centralized. Yeah, it's
There's a ton of guards.
easy to
and-
find.
All right, well, we'll go to that tent then.
So you guys make your way over there. It doesn't take much time. Arel, when you guys leave your tent, she kind of she pops out. She turns invisible, and she says to you, Hathol, in your mind, she goes,
Better not to make a lot of waves then.
Yes, agreed.
"Yeah." So you guys make your way over there. Do you take Rexy? Is the whole group going? What's the deal? Where's Tessie?
I
Ignis,
figured. Yeah.
did Darien speak with you about a proposition that he and I had regarding Tassir?
Oh yes, training her. Yes. When's that gonna get started?
I figure we should start effective immediately.
Great.
Considering we have 7 days until we reach the spine, who knows? I think that's ample training time, at least to get her started.
Good. Excellent. Do you need a spare weapon? I have many.
I want to see if I can make her something that's going to be reliable. It'll give me a chance to practice again, and on top of that, it's something that I know will last for her.
Are you thinking, bow, keep her out of immediate danger?
Well, I don't know how dexterous she is, how well she is with her aim, and we don't have much time. Something that would be fit her size, I think, would be a dagger.
Doesn't she already have at least 2 of those?
Yes,
No, you guys took them.
Oh yes.
you have
And
them.
they're like shivs. They're like prison shivs.
Do I have them? I don't think you ever gave them to me.
You should have them, because we took them off of her.
Okay, I'm just.
I don't know who held on to them. They're
Yeah.
just not
that's-
there. So
I'm just gonna write 2 daggers. So
Regardless,
go. Now I have
they're
them.
not of quality, and she needs a proper weapon if she's going to try to survive out there.
Well, she can at least practice with something of lower quality. Here, and I'll hand over one of the daggers.
sure, yeah.
We can at least start with this.
Okay. We'll get her started with that. Darien, what would you like to teach her?
I think. Well, first and foremost, I think we should try to instill some sort of a serious notion that this is merely for self-defense, emergencies, and that it is not a toy. It's a responsibility. I think that being raised as a young lady, she's already aware of the sense of responsibility. I mean, she can be proper when she needs to be. She can be polite when she needs to be. This is just another air to carry oneself in, for lack of a better word. So I think we should just teach her this is important, and yeah.
Well, Darien, you are a little bit more well versed in that regard. Do you think you would be able to handle those lessons?
Oh yes, sure.
Yes, please do
Excellent.
teach her not to indiscriminately murder people. That is important. And I will leave it to you because I couldn't even teach her to stay out of my room. So
Okay.
In the meantime, I think I'm going to go find our druid friend and see if we can make some more connections and friends amongst the hobgoblins.
all right, I'm gonna go join Hathol. I'd certainly
Okay,
like
so
to
you
know
guys
what's going on in that
go
meeting.
go to the tent,
Yes.
kind of like hang out outside of it. You'd be in like, are you trying to stealthy get over there? Are you hiding while you're there? Like, what are you doing? Are you just standing outside of it where there's like a couple of hobgoblin guards posted up and
Yeah,
we can do this. We can do this cutesy though. You know what?
yeah, is Rexy coming with you?
Yeah, that's
Not
what I mean by
stealthy.
cutesy. That's what I mean by
Well,
cutesy. Here, Hathol,
Okay.
Why don't you try riding Rexy?
No. So at this point,
No.
I'm just going to indicate. I'll just indicate to Arel towards the tent so that she can fly off and do her thing. And I'm just going to walk away from Ignis and get as much distance from him as I possibly can.
You stay away from me.
Because I don't need to be close to Arel while she's doing this. So I'm just going to wander off into the tents, find a quiet spot.
All right, passive.
Okay.
free ride
I
on a
don't want no
robotic
trouble.
dinosaur.
Okay. So Ignis, what are you doing?
I mean, I still want to know what's going on in the tent, so I'll just hang out with Hathol.
With Rexy?
Yeah.
Hathol, do you like as he follows you just keep walking away or like what?
Yeah, just at this point, I'll just.
Okay.
I just have to have a conversation with Ignis about this because this, you got to
Well, then
start
talk.
taking this stuff serious, Ignis.
I am taking it serious. I want to know what's going on.
Yes, but everything you
important
do
information.
is intentionally designed to piss off as many people as possible, and that's just gonna get someone killed.
This is why I have diplomats like Darien.
Yeah, but you still don't keep your mouth shut while the diplomats are around.
Yes, I did. I did a very good job of doing that in the meeting.
Did a very good job of pissing off my my new friend.
I'll make her a little clockwork thing to make up for it.
Yeah, she's an angel of judgment. I don't think trinkets are going to help in this situation. I think just general respect is going to work better.
So is she more of a cat person or a dog person or...
Ignis, just stay here and keep your dinosaur away from me, and I'll walk away.
Just roll my eyes and climb back on Rexy and just ride her around a bit.
Okay, sure. So yeah, Hathol, you like drop off the invisible Arel, and she like flutters into the tent. You see like the very bottom of the tent. You see like the tent flap out just a little bit, and you know that she's inside. She tells you,
All right, I'm in. A lot of leaders in here. Interesting.
and she kind of goes quiet for some time.
Well, the relic is old, ancient even.
Just to bear in mind, while she's in there, I can use my, I think it's an invocation, voice of the Chainmaster, so that I can perceive through her senses. So she doesn't need to actually dictate to me. Like, she doesn't need to tell me what's going on. I can actually see what's going on.
You can communicate telepathically. Additionally, as an action, you can see through your familiar's eyes and hear what it hears until the start of your next turn, gaining the benefits of any special senses that the familiar has. During this time, you're deaf and blind with regard to your own senses. Okay, so yeah, so where are you? Because you're going to go deaf and blind here.
Yeah, so I'm just going to sit between a couple of tents, just in a quiet place.
Sure, you post up and you sit down and you go into this little trance, and all of a sudden your eyes open and you see through Arel's eyes and you hear through Arel's ears. It's interesting. Everything around you seems to have like a weird ethereal quality, like it's not really there. It's somewhat shadowy, but you can still see well enough that it doesn't, it's not going to affect your perception in any way, but it definitely looks different than what you see the world as. You see her just like kind of floating around each of the like hobgoblins' heads and like taking them in. You see the relic. She turns and looks at it, and it's just sitting in the middle of the ground in the tent. She doesn't understand hobgoblin, but you hear the hobgoblin through her, so you understand kind of what's going on here. They seem to be having a discussion on what to do after the beast reaches the spine, how they would be able to communicate with it, if at all. Is there any way that anyone has thought of whether or not they can control it, or how to control it, what experiments or what things the druids have tried, and the proximity of the Two Stones Sept. The rest of the Sept will be arriving in the next 3 days. So you kind of pick up most of that in there. It seems that they're going to try to have the druids communicate with the beast at some point in time. And it looks like they're going to start rebuilding Adis. and they'll be leaving the Two Stone Sept there in permanent residence.
Wow.
So you pick up that. That's the discussion that's going on. Obviously, it takes time, but that's the discussion that you'll get while she's floating around and looking at things. She looks down at the relic and is communicating to you and goes,
Well, I don't know Draconic, but feels like Voss, but different. It's not his. Close, but it's not his. Voss did have a child. Did you know that, Hathol?
Yes, we had discussed this based on a riddle we found in the Hobgoblin tomb.
Her name was Rashi, a wind dragon. Eventually, she had enough followers with these red-skinned hobgoblins, as you call them, that she thought to challenge her father. And if I'm guessing correctly, the result of that war is the desert we see around us.
Wow.
The beast is likely Voss's. This relic... Well, maybe you can take me to where you found it next.
We may be able to gain access, but we'll need to ask permission.
you feel like a mental shrug. She's
I need not ask anyone.
I guess you can gain access by yourself, but I will need to ask permission.
Yeah,
unless you can make me invisible too.
Yeah, you have like a mental chuckle.
No, Hathol. In this state I am less than I would be otherwise. I cannot share my power with you. Is there anything else you would like me to do here? Or may we go see where this was?
I'll take you to where it was.
Sure. You like eventually you feel like a tap on your shoulder. And you've watched her like float out through her own eyes. So it's weird, this like weird out of body experience. You see yourself like through her eyes, and it's really odd. It's very similar to when you were kind of like falling through that like space time. While you move around, she sees like galaxies and stars like on your body as you move. This is like this weird light that emanates from you in her vision.
That's wild.
Yeah, so she lands and
Psychedelic,
sits on your shoulder, and
Well, let's go.
I think while that happens, we cut back to Darien and Miera, and we figure out what are you guys doing?
So I think we are outside of our tent with Tessie, and
Sure, yeah.
I guess Miara, you have the weapon.
Yeah, I'm gonna hand her one of the shivs and say, I don't know if you know where these came from, but we had to take them off of your person at some point. But we're giving them back to you for something very important. And I'll look to Darien.
My lady, it's a very dangerous world out there right now. We are in uncharted territory, and we thought that it was best that you learn to defend yourself, just in case you get separated from us.
She seems preoccupied. She looks down at the little shiv dagger, and she goes,
Cull made this for me. Before he died.
and she looks up and she goes,
I know how to use this.
You do.
and she's like looking at you, like with it up.
So cute.
Darien flashes back to when he was stabbed.
Yeah, I mean, she has stabbed you before, so hey.
Yes, well, it's one thing to swing a weapon. It's another to understand why you're doing it. And we think it's just very important that we train you in the proper safety measures and the proper technique so that in case you need to use it, you are doing so safely and responsibly, as a young lady should.
She kind of looks up at you, and she's just holding on to the dagger and nods.
So you think you know how to use that thing?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, her voice was so much higher, I forgot about that. Ha!
Colin Slew, they taught me how to do it.
Rip vocal cords.
Well, do you think you'd be able to run a practice, a drill?
A what?
Do you think that you'd be able to take either myself or Darien on in a combat situation? Nothing deadly.
She looks at you and she glares and she goes,
Yeah, I'm real strong.
All
I
right.
could do it. I could do it.
If we're going to do a practice run, just to see where you're at right now, we need to set some guidelines first. This is non-lethal, so do not hold back. But the point of this exercise is to disarm, not kill.
Colin Slew only taught me how to stab. I go like this.
and she like just thrusts it forward in like her tiny little hand.
I see that we have a lot of work to do.
Yeah. So you guys like want to try and teach her how to do stuff. Yeah. Let's see what happens here. Let me pull up her character sheet. Let's see what she's got going on here. I think for this, for you guys that are teaching her what to do, and you're helping each other, so it'll be made at advantage. You can choose who's going to make the roll, and we'll see how well she picks up on some of these things. I'm kind of up in the air on what the role should be. I'm thinking it might be just either a flat charisma check or it's tough because you're trying to describe these things to her. So I'm trying to think if it's going to be like performance. I'm not sure. It's not animal handling, no, chat.
No.
It's not animal. It's close. It's close because what is animal handling made with? Is that wisdom?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, let me pull that up.
Okay.
It's too long on the character sheet to actually like
I
say.
see that. I think it is wisdom.
I don't know. Oh wait.
I think it is because I'm proficient.
It's
in it.
wisdom. It's
Yeah,
wisdom.
yeah.
Okay.
My
I
actual
think
sheets are over there.
it's gonna be two. It's gonna be two rolls. It's gonna be two rolls. Okay. I want one of you to make a persuasion roll. I want one of you to make a survival roll.
Okay.
Do you want to do persuasion? I'll do survival.
And these will be independent.
Proficient in that. So yeah, I'm proficient in both, but I have a better modifier for persuasion. So yeah.
Yeah, I have a better modifier for survival. So. And these are both
Okay.
normal checks.
Yeah. So these will be. You're gonna make these separately, but together you'll be deciding like how well
Right.
these things go. 15 for Darien's persuasion. Survival
Woo!
20. Okay.
Nice. Sue.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, she seems to like, she's very interested. You keep her attention for as long as you need to, and she seems dedicated into learning like how and what to do. And you kind of like you make it very clear to her that like during any situation like this, if you guys are available, she'll do exactly what you say. Okay, so like in a combat situation with these rolls, if you tell her to do something, she's going to do it.
Okay.
All right, without question. Additionally, so this is something that we'll take. These are the rolls that'll establish for the rest of the quote unquote week while you're traveling, because I'm assuming you're going to take time to do this like daily.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's why she'll get it by the end of the week that she needs to listen to you. You make it very clear that if she's on her own, she needs to find a way to get to you guys as quickly as possible, or get safe, or hide, or do whatever, right? So this all being said, in any situation where Tassir's alone or doing whatever, both Miera and Darien, Rob and Professor Saccharum, will make the decisions for what she does. Okay?
Dope.
All right. So yeah, that kind of handles that situation for the next quote-unquote week. All right, so we'll quick jump over to Ignas and see what he's up to. Ignas, are you doing anything, or are you just going to be wandering around for a while?
So I actually wanted to go back to our tent and start working on making a music box.
Okay. So you stomp on over to the tent, and you start making a music box. I think that's an ability of yours, right? Can you go ahead and post that one?
It is it's a gnome thing.
Yeah, it's like a gnome natural ability, right?
Yeah. For rock gnomes specifically, I can create what is it? Up to 3
Tinker.
devices at once. Yeah.
Sure.
One can be a clockwork toy. That's why I was going on about that. Fire starter or a music box, and I figured music box.
Okay, device ceases to function after 24 hours unless you spend an hour repairing it every day. When you use your action, dismantle it. At the time, you can reclaim the materials used to create it, so you'll get 10 GP back. You can have up to 3 such devices active at any time. Yeah, so go ahead and spend 10 GP, remove that from your stuff, and you create over the next hour a little music box. You want to tell me what it looks like?
Looks like. Okay, I want to say pillbox, but not a lot of people have those, and I'm not 100% sure what they looked like back in the day. But I'm guessing at some point, someone has seen those like little plastic daily pill things. It's like the size and functionality of one of those days.
Yeah, so it's very small. It's just it's a little plastic, like a little plastic box.
Anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. So you make one out of what? What does it look like?
Well, it's made out of little metal bits, just leftover scrap bits that I couldn't use for Rexy.
And so, what does it have? Like a little lever on it, or like a button? How does
it's one of those.
music?
It's one of those things where you lift it up and it activates.
Or it activates. Okay.
Yeah, and it just plays a set song, and you close it, lift it back up if you wanted to play it again.
Sure. What's the song?
Pussycat.
See, the first thing that came to mind was the Spider-Man song from the cartoon, because that's been going in my head for the last week.
No.
But you know what? I'm gonna go with the Smash Brothers theme. Because that's the
Except it's
other
like in
song.
tiny. It's in like tiny copper form, right? So it's like ding
Yeah.
ding 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 ding.
Yes, 8-bit rendition. I love it.
Sure. Yeah, fine. It does that now. As long as you maintain it for an hour every day, it does that.
I can just do it at night before I go to bed.
Sure.
Ignas has like a
Okay.
list of daily things he has to do. He has to touch himself. He has to pour one out for McSwiggins.
It's like he's playing an MMO.
Thing. Yeah.
Oh, his dailies are just ridiculous at this point.
Yeah, really. Got to grind that
also-
rep.
Little bit of a side point. Both Prof and Rob, you now have the Lady Tassir's really just basic character sheet in your
Oh,
journals.
cool.
Dope.
Yep. So it will be
Aw,
your
her
responsibility,
token's so
either of
cute.
you, to like roll her initiative and stuff like that if it comes to
Yep.
it. Okay. Great. So I think now we've watched Ignas do this. We jump back over to Hathol. Hathol, you're approaching the entrance to the tomb. What do you want to do?
I want to ask the guards if I can take a look around inside again.
Yeah, they don't seem to care too much. You're not carrying the relic or anything like that. They kind of look you up and down and just shrug, and you're allowed to move inside. There does seem to be busy inside. There's definitely still druids and stuff running around, looking at things. The bodies of the gnolls from previous have definitely been removed. The blood's been scraped off. But it does look like all of the traps have been disabled at this time while there's some investigating still being done.
Okay, so I'll take Arel to see the monolith with the draconic.
You go all the way to the end, and you get to the monolith at the end, and you feel like that little weight like lift up off your shoulder, and she goes and she flies around it, and she's just kind of describing to you what it is or what she's thinking. She goes,
It seems this was placed here. You said the relic went inside and up in the opening here.
Yes, indeed.
Did it do anything when you removed it?
Well, there was this kind of strange breeze that I felt, and like this general good feeling that came with it.
The monolith didn't have a reaction upon the relic being removed?
If it did, I don't remember.
It did.
Okay. I don't remember it happening. Okay.
Yeah, it did. All of the draconic runes on it ended up like glowing in order from like top to bottom, and then they all went dim.
Okay. Well, I'll explain that to her then.
Yeah, she goes,
Sorry.
Again, I don't know Draconic, but... And the beast awoke after it was removed?
Yeah, shortly after. It didn't seem to be immediately after, but sometime after.
A sealing spell. The relic powered it. Interesting. I'm curious about these Red One's history. How would they have built this here? Why would they have sealed the beast away, unless it was Voss's?
She's just like muttering to herself.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you'd like to do with her? Or you have any questions?
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe if maybe it wasn't Voss that actually sealed it here, but the daughter that sealed it for some reason. Would she have had the power?
Yes, she would have at that time. She was incredibly powerful. That's why she made the play for her father's throne. She would have, or could have done this. She would have taken a piece of herself to seal something of this size. A risky play. The Draconic is what tells me that it was hers. I don't know if she would have done this or placed it here herself, but... definitely her, and her power that sealed this away.
We should probably take this information back to the others. It will help us decide what to do next.
Yeah, you feel like a mental nod, and a little weight ends up on your shoulder again.
Okay. And we'll head out of the tomb again.
Excellent. And you guys are going to end up back together, but we're going to take our first break right here, right now. We'll come back with part 2 of DieFall: The Aspects just after our short little break. Be right back, guys.
Cool.